warm-up. All right. Again, we're ready over here. Ready. We good? All right, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. All right. Okay, so we're ready today. My name is Carrie Rodriguez, and I am Matthew Miles and David's mom. There's David right there. I'm also proud to be the president of the National Parents Union. We are the united voice of modern American families with more than 1.8 million members across the nation. We are here today because our kids are under attack, and we're not going to let it happen without a fight. All week long, parents, students, and educators, the real people on the front lines of America's public schools, have been walking these halls of Congress, meeting with members of the House, members of the Senate, and making one thing crystal clear. This so-called big, beautiful bill is a direct threat to our children's future, and we will not stand for it. There is nothing big or beautiful about slashing billions from public education. There is nothing smart about eliminating funding for students with disabilities, for kids learning English, for rural schools, or for mental health supports when our children are already in crisis. And there is certainly nothing big or beautiful about defunding oversight while funneling taxpayer money into unaccountable voucher schemes. We are here today to lift up the real voices being drowned out in this debate. The parents who are trying to hold it all together, the students carrying the weight of these cuts on their shoulders, and the educators who are being asked to do the impossible with less and less. We're not lobbyists. We're not political insiders. No. We are the people who have to live with the consequences of these decisions. And today, we are demanding to be heard. Because while billionaires may have the ear of this administration, it's our children who will be paying the price. And we're here to say not on our watch. Oh, hell no. So let's hear directly from those who are leading this fight. Families, youth, and educators who are standing together to protect what matters most: a strong, safe, and fully funded public education system for every child in America. Now, it is my honor to introduce you to some very special people, and we will have some special guests popping in as well, so we appreciate your patience. But it is my unique pleasure to welcome some friends of mine from Texas, some very special guests to the podium right now, representing their family from San Antonio, Texas, Maribel and Recorde Gardia.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the energy, and we're here to fight. We're not going anywhere. Thank you all. My name is Maribel Gardia. I'm a mother from Texas, and I'm standing here because this is personal for my family, but for millions of families across this country. This is real. After spending a few days speaking to multiple staffers and senators, one thing is very painfully clear: that many of our leaders are disconnected. They don't know what's really happening in our schools, our communities, or our homes. These decisions that they made in committee rooms and budget lines, but it's not families like mine that they're thinking about. This really hits our living rooms, our hospital rooms, and our kitchen tables. I have 2 sons. Budukai's here with me. And like many of us, we live for them every day. They are everything to us. Yes. They are everything. My youngest, he lives with multiple disabilities. He relies on Medicaid for his survival. And let me say that again, survival. He eats through a G-tube. His feedings are covered through Medicaid. His therapies are covered through Medicaid. Even his device that he uses for his school to have a voice is covered through Medicaid. This is his lifeline. In Texas alone, there's 3 million children dependent on Medicaid and CHIP. Over 4 million students attend Title I schools. And for those of you who don't know what a Title I school is, because a lot of our representatives do not, we struggle on a daily basis for air conditioners and heaters, basic essentials. I just wanted to add that in there. More than 3 million people rely on SNAP to put food on the table. Think about that. The vast majority of them are children. And families like mine are at risk right now because Pell Grants make the dream of our future kids go to college. The bill, this nasty bill, let's just call it what it is, it threatens to cut it all. When you cut one thing, you hurt all the other programs. You hurt all of our families like mine and like the families that are represented here today. These cuts aren't just numbers. They are a direct attack on our children's health, their education, and their futures. And I need every single lawmaker to hear this. You represent us. We put you here. And if you choose to turn your back on families now, the consequences will be seen in ways that this country cannot handle. Is that the America that we want to build? That's the question I want to know. Is this what we want for our kids and our future? Because this bill that you're choosing to build is only an America for some and not all. An America that prioritizes tax cuts for billionaires over the investment of working families and education. I urge all the senators to stand here with the working families of America to vote against this bill. I refuse to let my children's future be decided by leaders who have forgotten the people that they serve. Thank you.
Well, we're very grateful for the fact that although we fell upon deaf ears with some folks, there were some senators who were listening to us. And we are so grateful that one of those senators, our senator from Arizona, Senator Mark Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I will say some of us have not forgotten who we serve. That we here in Washington need to serve the American people, not serve billionaires. So thank you, everybody, for being here. And it's so good to see such strong support for kids and families and teachers, and it's great to see you fighting for those folks in our community. And it's even good to see kids like David fighting, advocating for themselves. So good for you, David. Thank you. I don't think it's ever been harder to be a parent. I'm a parent of two daughters. They're grown adults now, so it's gotten a little easier for me, but I'm also a grandparent. And I see the challenges that my daughter and her husband face. There's a lot being thrown at parents right now. You know, screens and social media and tariffs on the things you need to start a school year. Tariffs on car seats even. I mean, who thought that was a good idea? And then bad advice on vaccines. and bad medical advice from an administration that I don't think actually believes in science. When you're cutting funding to NIH and university research, you're missing something. It's because science has given us just about everything. And these things should not be hard. It shouldn't be hard to take your kid to a doctor. It shouldn't be hard to keep kids from going hungry. And you should know that your kids can get a good education that sets them up for success. And you should also know that your kid should be able to come home from school on the bus they went to school on. I was just over on the near the Capitol earlier today, and we were talking about something I'm sure all of us agree upon. And that's that it shouldn't be easier for people to buy silencers for their guns. Along with all this other bad stuff in this legislation, they're trying to make it where people can buy silencers without a background check. I mean, school shootings are already a big problem already. This is going to make it worse. President Trump and Republicans in Congress don't get it. They're going to try to make it harder for parents who are working hard every day to help their kid get ahead. They're coming after food assistance that puts meals on the table. They're coming after the assistance that allows for school nutrition programs during the year and also during the summer. That means kids are going to go hungry, and I don't think they care. They're coming after Medicaid, which covers so many kids in Arizona and across the country so they can just go to the doctor and grow up healthy. And they're hammering away on public education. And they want to abandon the Department of Education's role to make sure that public schools can provide a quality education. Now, I'm the product of good public schools, all the way from for me, it was from elementary school through college and even graduate school. I went to the Naval Postgraduate School. We could say it's a public school. I got to become an astronaut and a U.S. Senator because of the public education I got. And I'm learning more stuff about this horrible bill every single day, including today, how Trump and Republicans are going to sneak in a provision to publicly fund private schools through a voucher program. They want to play by different rules. A backhanded way to take your tax dollars and stick it into private schools. Let me tell you, Arizona has been fighting this fight for years now, and it is not going well. And the public education that kids can get in the state of Arizona is not the same as it was 10 years ago. So this is not a good idea. It's a horrible idea. And I'm here because we've got to make it easier for parents, not harder. We've got to make it easier for kids to get an education. Got to make it easier for kids to get the support they need, to get a good start in life, and get a good career that you can actually
Spend at least 12 hours a day at school, Monday through Friday. I'm part of the swim team. I swim 5 days a week. I am also involved in choir, student senate, academic clubs, and theater after-school programs. On top of that, I'm taking pre-IB classes to prepare for college because I want to build a strong future for myself. At my school, we are provided breakfast, lunch, and dinner because being able to eat more means we can focus, study, and learn. But if this bill passes, students like mine will lose critical funding that supports students every single day. Students who rely on SNAP will lose the food benefits that keep us healthy. Financial aid would be restricted, stripping away opportunities from kids like me. Capping how much students can borrow from college would shut the door on low-income and middle-class students trying to reach the American dream. This doesn't just affect me. My younger brother has cerebral palsy. He relies on programs like Medicaid to access the medical care, medicine, and speech device to help him live. I remember the first time he spoke with that device at 14 years old. It was life-changing for me and my family. These programs help students like me find out who we are and give us a pathway forward. And with cuts of public education programs like fine arts, the very program where I found my own passion, my expression, and even college scholarships to help me move forward and see potential careers I have. If this bill passes, students like me will be left with fewer chances to succeed, while others who already have more continue to get ahead of me. I stand here today to say we cannot afford these cuts. This bill is not beautiful. It's dangerous. It threatens my future, my brother's future, and millions of other students in America. We deserve better. We deserve leaders who invest in us. Thank you.
We'd like to welcome another very special parent representing her community from the Rocky Boy Reservation in Montana, also the special education community. Please welcome Jillian Rainingbird.
Good afternoon, y'all. It's a hot one, so I'm not going to keep you too long, but I will say it's not as hot, doesn't have me as hot as this big, beautiful bill has me heated, right? So I'm the mom of 3 bold, brilliant, beautiful girls. They're brave. Like Carrie had mentioned, my name is Jillian Rainingbird. I'm an enrolled member of the Chippewa Cree tribe of the Rocky Boy Indian Reservation located in north central Montana. I'm here to share real-life consequences of what's being called the Big Beautiful Bill. Because behind all of those talking points are real tragedies. One of them is Jayla, my daughter. Jayla was a bold, brilliant, beautiful, brave little girl from the east side of Kansas City. She was born with disabilities, severe medical needs. We, her parents, earned about $80,000 a year. We're not rich. We work hard. So Jayla didn't qualify for Medicaid. Instead, she was placed on a Medicaid waiver. And that happened as a baby. Jayla died waiting for Medicaid services. She was 6 years, 7 months, 27 days, 9 hours, and 49 minutes old. Wow. Medicaid is the 4th biggest funding stream to schools. The bill cuts Medicaids for millions. We don't need Medicaid elimination or reduction. I'm not afraid of taxes. We should all pay our fair share. What I am afraid of is a system that allows children like Jayla to die because help just never came. I'm afraid of a system that prioritizes taxes, the tax cuts for billionaires over investments in children like Jayla and working families. Jayla loved the Kansas City Chiefs. No cheer there. She loved the color teal, unicorns, and butterflies. There we go. My daughter deserved a chance to grow up. She deserves so much more. Social services aren't the enemy. Poverty is not fraud. Disability is not a waste. This is America. You guys, this is America. We are so much more better than this. We're better than this. It is incomprehensible that this bill has even made it this far. I lose sleep thinking about where we are in America. It's even more shocking that it's up for a vote in the Senate. Republican senators, I urge you, I beg, I plead. Stop the nonsense. Be bold, be brave, and be the good kind of beautiful. Stand up for American families, and above all else, protect our babies. Thank you.
Now it's time to hear from the teachers. It is my honor to welcome an amazing teacher leader representing Educators for Excellence, a science teacher from Texas, Ramatu Kasimu.
Hello, everybody. Texas in the house. Okay, I'm sorry. My name is Dr. Ramatu Kasim. I am here today as a proud Texan public school science teacher, but also as a public health professional, a social emotional learning advocate, and someone who has spent over a decade working in classrooms where underinvestment shows up in real, powerful, painful ways. Let me be clear. Our students are not line items. They are not budget items to be trimmed or statistics to be ignored. They are children with real needs, real dreams, and the right to learn in environments that protect their health and humanity. At my school, we technically had a full-term nurse on staff this year. But due to systematic hiring issues and understaffing issues across the district, our campus was often left without a nurse when students needed one most. In reality, her absence became a safety concern. To fill the gap, I provided a hygiene cabinet in my classroom stocked with menstrual products, deodorant, toothbrushes, Band-Aids, and more, much of it funded from my own paycheck, with occasional donations from kind-hearted community members. It was not a part of my job. But if I could remove a burden from my students, I was happy to do it. And the school-based mental health counselor, we shared her with multiple campuses. That means that access to mental health support is inconsistent and often unavailable in times of crisis. Imagine if your child or grandchild had a medical emergency at school and there was no nurse to help them. One of my students, let's call him Arthur, is a kind kid, courteous, inquisitive, always willing to help, and greets everyone with the largest smile. Arthur also has a seizure disorder. This year alone, he is seized 6 times, and many of those times, the nurse was unavailable. 6 times, teachers had to step in and provide an emergency care while praying we got it right. We were not trained for this, and yet we were expected to hold it all together. That's what's happening now under current funding levels. If the reconciliation bill passes, this could become the norm across more campuses. Due to deep Medicaid cuts, over 80% of school leaders report that they may have to lay off the worst ratios of counselors and nurses to students. Additionally, y'all, for the second year in a row, Texas was ranked the hungriest state in the nation. Our food insecurity rate is 17.6%. That means that 5.4 million people, including 1 in 5 children, experience food insecurity. My own community of Dallas-Fort Worth is number 3 in the nation for food insecurity. So when I say that this bill is dangerous, I mean it literally threatens the lives and learning of my students. Children can't focus when they're hungry. They can't recover from trauma without access to a counselor. They can't feel safe when the nurse's office is empty and the teacher is their only emergency responder. This bill doesn't fix those gaps. It weaponizes and widens them. Instead of investing in solution, this bill adds red tape and reduces protections. It makes it harder for kids to stay enrolled in Medicaid. It punishes families for missing paperwork. It threatens to gut school-based health services just as our students face rising rates of anxiety, trauma, and unmet physical needs. This is not fiscal responsibility. This is policy abandonment. If passed, this bill will tell students like Arthur that their lives are negotiable, that their safety is optional, that their health is too expensive. But I reject that message. And I hope our senators will too. Because Arthur matters. Every Texas student matters. Every child in the United States matters. Their health and well-being should never be up for political debate. This is not the time to dismantle the little infrastructure our schools have left. It's time to reinvest, reimagine, and repair. Please vote no on the reconciliation bill. Thank you.
All right, you guys, I screwed up. Can we give the doctor her respect one more time, please? My apologies. Whew. Yes, girl. I love a lady doctor. Oh, yes. All right, another veteran school leader from Brooklyn, New York, joining us, a proud teacher leader from Educators for Excellence, Joseph Tedros from Brooklyn.
My name is Joseph Tedros. I'm a public school teacher and school leader in Brooklyn, New York. I'm also shout out to the teachers behind me. I'm a proud and longtime member of Educators for Excellence, a nonprofit that organizes educators to push for policy change on the state, local, and federal level. So I speak today here with you with 12 years of classroom experience with deep concern about where our public education system is headed. I can say with absolute confidence that what our students need right now is not less support, but more. Unfortunately, the proposed reconciliation bill makes it clear that most Republicans in Congress disagree with me. Rather than expanding support, this legislation would do the exact opposite of what our students and schools need. I've always worked in schools with predominantly low-income students, and I chose these communities because I was once one of those students. Being raised by an immigrant single mother, working night and day to put food on the table for me and my brother, I know firsthand what students face outside of the classroom deeply affects how they show up inside them. That's why their lived experiences should be at the center of our education policy decisions. Cutting SNAP funding, adding more restrictions, could impact over 18 million students nationwide. 18 million students nationwide. Further worsening a problem I see far too often in our schools. Many of our students rely on SNAP benefits to make sure they get by. Teachers keep food in their closets, in their desks, because they know hungry students can't focus. On field trips, I've seen students pool in their SNAP benefits so they make sure their friends get fed. When SNAP benefits run low or they're delayed, students come into school hungry, distracted, anxious, just because they're thinking about their next meal. This year, a new student transferred to our school from another state. His family of four was living in a shelter. The school secretary knew something was wrong because they couldn't afford the school uniforms. They confided in her and they asked for some support while the SNAP benefits were processed. She quietly bought them breakfast every morning with her own money to make sure they have food every day. Fortunately, the family has a home now. The SNAP benefits are providing some support. And that student stops by the office every morning to say hello to her and to see if she needs anything. You know, that's what dignity and care can do, and that's what it could look like. But without SNAP, what would happen to that family? What's going to happen to the 18 million students that are at risk? They're forced to take jobs just to afford their next meal. No child needs to decide between an education and putting food on the table. This is just not about funding. It's about whether a child eats today. It's not something we should ever cut back on. It's not just bad policy. It's a moral failure. It's a moral failure. I urge Republicans to reconsider and stop this bill before it causes lasting harm, generational harm, because this is not the time to dismantle support systems. This is time to reimagine, reinvest, build a stronger, more equitable public education system in this country that meets every child where they are and ensures that they all have a chance to thrive. Thank you.
All right, we are also joined by our friends from EdLock, Education Leaders of Color. And let's give it up for EdLock. Lots of solidarity here. And it is my pleasure to welcome Mayat Lands, who is the founding school leader of the Rooted School in Indianapolis, a public charter school that is disrupting the cycle of poverty by ensuring that their students are equipped to succeed and armed with a pathway to economic mobility. Mayat.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maya Lands, and I have the honor of serving as the founder at Rooted School Indianapolis, a school committed to the radical belief that every young person deserves not just access to opportunity, but the power to define it. We are here today because public education is under attack, and not just in policy or budget lines, but in the lived experiences of our students, our educators, and our communities. At Rooted, we don't just teach skills, but we nurture purpose, identity, and agency. But we can't do that work in a vacuum. We need strong, protected, and fully funded public education systems. That's why I stand with EdLock and their vision, a vision rooted in education equity, community power, and racial justice. A vision where leaders of color are not the exception, but the architects of change. Their priorities mirror what we fight for every single day in our schools, such as Head Start programs, teacher quality partnerships, Title I, school-based mental services, and supporting educational development. We need policies that are created with us, not for us. We need funding formulas that recognize the impact of generations of disinvestment. We need to trust and empower local educators, students, and families, not silence them. To my fellow school leaders, we must use our voice, not just in the boardroom, but in the streets. To lawmakers, if you claim to care about the future, then protect the public schools that shape it. And to our communities, keep organizing, keep speaking, and keep demanding more. Because our kids are waiting, and they deserve to inherit a future where we were bold enough to build it. Thank you.
I hope you heard her. You know, in a time where we are having invasions of our cities, they're locking up our U.S. senators, they are not going to take the word equity away from us. We are going to use that word, we are going to stand on that word, and we are going to continue to fight for it.
Yes.
That's right. All right, our final speaker is my dear friend, a fighter for equity and justice in education, my partner in this work, and just someone who is extraordinary, brave, and bold, Evan Stone, the founder of Educators for Excellence.
Thank you, Carrie. My name is Evan Stone. I am a former 6th grade teacher in the Bronx and the founder of Educators for Excellence. There's not much more to say than what's already been said. We heard from an astronaut, we heard from a student, we heard from a parent, we heard from a teacher, we heard from a school leader, we have heard from advocates, and the message is the same. This bill is bad for families. Yes. This bill is bad for public education. Yes. This bill is bad for kids. Yes. And we are here to tell the Senate, right behind us, we need to say no to this bill today. We even renamed the bill. It is no longer the big beautiful bill, it is the big nasty. And we are also here because we believe in this country. We believe in the principles on which it was founded and the purpose of public education to give everybody access to opportunity. We know this dream is not yet a reality. We know we have work to do, but this bill will set us backwards. It will rip meals away from kids to give tax breaks to billionaires. It will take away counselors and mental health from our schools at a time we have a crisis across our nation. That ain't right. This bill is going to take $20 billion out of our public education system to give to private schools. It is going to undermine a fundamental principle that we think public dollars should be in public schools. That we don't think we should have religious schools being funded by public dollars. So we are here today, united, families, teachers, parents, students, advocates, school leaders, everybody serving in our communities. And we are here to say we are not going away. No. We are here to say we are not okay. No. And we are here to say vote no on this bill today.